is clear that Fox News journalism has metastasized into mainstream journalism, and it is upsetting. Today, we had several reporters at the news conference, at the press conference with Jen Psaki, that actually had the nerve to spend most of their times asking about the president comments, who implied that he hopes the Chauvin is convicted as he should. We all watched Chauvin murder a man in 9 minutes and 29 seconds. In 9 minutes and 29 seconds, we all saw it. And to be complaining about or making a big issue about what Maxine Waters said and what President Biden said, it's ridiculous, because what it shows is that, yes, our leaders support not murdering our citizens. But these reporters decided they are going to start looking like Fox News and trying to make what the president said somehow out of order, what Representative Maxine Waters said, out of context. Worse is one of the reporters who was in Jen Psaki's skin should have known better. Hasn't she lived it? Let's take a listen to how she questioned Psaki, but Psaki was not going to back down. Psaki was going to give the answers, as she always does, in the proper manner in this particular case as well, both handling Biden and Waters.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Thank you, Jen. Just to follow up, the president has talked about the importance of an independent judiciary. Why is it appropriate for him to weigh in on the verdict, even though the jury is secluded?
I don't think he would see it as weighing in on the verdict. He was conveying what many people are feeling across the country, which is compassion for the family. What a difficult time this is. What a difficult time this is for many Americans across the country who have been watching this trial very closely. The jury is sequestered. That is different from where things stood just yesterday, and he noted that in his comments as well.
He did call for the right verdict, though. Why is it ever appropriate to have any type of characterization before the jury has a say, especially for the president?
Again, we're going to wait for the jury to come to their conclusion, and that is when he will have more extensive remarks about the outcome.
This administration, this president, has been very clear in condemning rhetoric that it sees as adding to a climate of discord. Is it a double standard to not condemn or speak out against the comments by Maxine Waters, even if she didn't mean to imply violence?
Well, first I would say that the Congresswoman has provided further clarification of her own remarks, and I would certainly point you to that. And if we're looking in this scenario, we're looking at a family who has lost someone. They've just watched a trial. They've seen the video play over and over and over again. Families across the country have watched the trial, watched the video play over and over again. Clearly, the impact of trauma and the exhaustion is on communities of color around the country more than it is on others. And the president recognizes this is an extremely painful issue, and of course, sympathizes with everyone who feels the grief of George Floyd's passing, as well as the killings of so many other people of color at the hands of law enforcement. And, I think having a conversation with his family yesterday, as someone who has been through trauma himself, that was a big part of their conversation, as I believe George Floyd's brother also conveyed. You feel it deeply in your heart, and I think that his comments were a reflection of that.
Now, that was completely uncalled for. Kristen Welker should know better than the questions that she asked, especially the one about Maxine Waters, given the implication that somehow what Maxine Waters said was out of order. Maxine Waters clarified, but she didn't have to clarify. You have to push back if you saw somebody murdered, and your community still said it is okay to murder that black person. And we have a black reporter that seemed to be attempting to show that, well, I can be impartial on this issue. This has nothing to do about partiality or impartiality. A murder was committed. The president and Representative Walker they understand that there is a huge population out there who feels aggrieved, and they need to find out, they need to feel that there are people in power who understand that as well, and that even if we have a few people that will somehow liberate a killer because of their own prejudices, that yes, the representative feels your pain. Yes, the president feels your pain. So for a reporter to go out there and be Fox-like in the way they do things, it's amazing. And then so many other reporters did the same thing. Did they forget that a whole lot of people right now won't have their rent to pay after the moratorium is over? Do they forget that there are a whole lot of people that can't pay their medical bills after getting COVID, after being unemployed, or after having not seen a doctor for a long time, and now their illness has been exacerbated? There are a lot of questions to ask this press secretary that says, how are you going to help Americans in pain? Instead, they seem to believe they're Fox News, who concentrate on nothing that makes the lives better for more Americans. Come on, people. Jen Psaki, thank you. You swatted it away just fine. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.